What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Marcus Ely here for Status Coup. Got a lot to get to. Today. Biden is leading the polls. A lot of new polls came out. Vincero Scrimetti asked in the comments, does anyone get why Bernie's tanking in the polls? I have the comments on my phone right here. We're going to get to that. We're going to explain that today. Also, we're going to talk about all of the many things. There's quite a few things locally in Nevada that I would like to get out and cover. So smash that like button. Become a member to Status Coup so we can definitely so we can get you guys so we can be able to do these things, because it costs money to get in the field. It costs money to go to places. This Friday, those of you that are members, you paid for this. Thank you. I'm going to be going out to deal with or to be with the McDonald's workers that are striking for $15 and marching in the fight for 15 here locally. Also, a little bit of other news. The Las Vegas teachers strike. They have agreed. The teachers agreed, and they voted that they will strike if their demands aren't met over the summer through negotiations. So I happen to know who the teacher or the spokesperson for the teachers union is. It actually is the same person that ran Amy Villa's campaign. You may remember him from the film Knock Down the House. So Keenan Korth, and we're gonna get in touch with each other. We're working out times now to where we can get something to happen. I'm gonna try to see if I can get him on here on a live, and we can just talk about the issues together and do a special local Nevada focused live stream one day. Quite a few stories going on. Let's get directly in to these polls. Let's just jump right in here. Let me see. I want to check some of y'all comments. Oh, wait. Speaking of comments, I just realized something, and I wanted to do this. Somebody said in one of the other videos that I did the other day that I had a Hitler mustache. I found that hilarious. And he didn't say out and out Hitler mustache. It was a joke, and I found it funny. But I do not have a Hitler mustache. Look closely. It just grows really thin here. And my old job made me get rid of my facial hair. Because, capitalists, they like to dictate what you can and can't wear and dictate how you can grow facial hair at your job. Like, how you going to tell me how to wear my hair in my face at a job? But, hey, they did. And when you got kids, you got to submit to that. So I'm growing my stuff back. I promise it's not a Hitler mustache. I promise. Now, here's the, we're going to get straight into this poll now that I kind of got that out of the way, that nonsense. As you can see in this poll, Joe Biden's still at the top, and this is a Monmouth poll here. Bernie Sanders is in second, and 65% favorable, 20% unfavorable. Bernie has the highest unfavorables of everybody in the whole thing, and that's not a good sign, but we will explain. There is a reason for him having a high unfavorable in these polls, and I doubt it will shock any of us. I strongly doubt it'll shock any of us that the reason why he has such low unfavorables. And Biden, that's right, Jared. I believe that's Jared. Biden is falling in the polls, and Warren is moving up. Let's see. Biden's falling in the polls, Warren's moving up, which is a good sign for progressives, at least. That means that, like we've been telling everybody for the longest time, that the progressive message is what resonates with people. And Warren's platform and Bernie's platform are eerily similar. She doesn't have the focus on Medicare for all that Bernie does, but she is for it. I believe she's trying to differentiate herself by not talking about it as much, but they both support the same thing there. In terms of policy and policy platforms, even though a lot of her policy platforms are based on Bernie Sanders, she's a lot more specific, and in my opinion, she's kicking Bernie's butt in terms of policy platforms. But these are policy platforms that he's been for 40 years. She's just getting specific and saying how I'm going to do them. But at the same time, we have to think about the ability to get these policy platforms done, because in all likelihood, odds are Democrats aren't gonna get the Senate. They can. There's a strong possibility, but right now, the strongest candidates for Senate are running for president. And nobody's really got a start on those campaigns for Senate. So, of the two between Bernie and Warren, Bernie has shown time and time again that he knows how to use the bully pulpit in order to make the establishment make changes, in order to make Amazon give a $15 an hour minimum wage. He shames folks. He shamed Walmart, and Walmart has said, "Oh yeah, we'll try to make some changes." You've seen him there. So yeah, the changes have been made because of him, and he's still in the Senate, and he doesn't even have a say in the Senate. So that's something that I believe that makes Bernie more viable for me as a progressive than Warren. But I still like Elizabeth Warren. I will take her if Bernie's not an option. She's clearly my easy second choice as a progressive. And as far as somebody that wants the right things to happen. But clearly analyzing the situation, the best way to get the progressive message out there is to have Bernie and Warren right where they are right now. I do agree with Jordan that if Elizabeth Warren gets clobbered and does terrible in Iowa, she needs to drop out immediately. I don't think that will happen though, but Jordan's right. Jordan is 100% right there. Daniel says, remember waiting for Warren's endorsement in 2016? Still waiting. That's an interesting point. Back in 2016, I remember reading a couple pieces about, and post 2016, because it's now 2019 and hindsight is 2020. I really didn't want to make that terrible pun. But yeah, Elizabeth Warren and Hillary Clinton had a meeting back then, and Elizabeth Warren just decided to be quiet. And you got to remember, from the beginning, Bernie ran because Elizabeth Warren wasn't going to. He wanted Warren to run. And he's like, no, the progressive message needs to get out there. And he ran. And when he did that, it really upset the establishment, and that caused the rift we have in the Democratic Party now. But honestly, I'm glad for that rift, because I remember when I was young and getting into politics, progressives didn't have a voice. And it's nice for progressives and socialists to have a voice, you know what I mean? To really have a say in what's going on. I want to read this one. Rob Warren is the establishment. Yeah, I wouldn't say because she won't do anything. Whose comment is that? I want to make sure I shout you out. Rob Illinois. Oh, that's awesome. That's an ill way to spell Illinois, Rob. He says Warren is the establishment's compromise because she won't do anything. I don't think it's won't as much as won't be able to. Because Warren did a really good job of getting the Financial Protection Bureau passed, And that got millions and millions for people, for consumers, for poor and working people. That got them a lot of money back. And that's important. But at the same time, I don't think she's as effective as using the bully pulpit. And she's been a national name for a little bit, like she's been on the big stage a little bit longer than Bernie Sanders. Sure, she came out of nowhere, and she hasn't been in politics as long as Bernie. But for the longest time, you got to remember, before 2016, the establishment in media, in mainstream media, was just like, that's that kooky socialist guy, whatever. And then 2016 came and they had to pay attention. Before that even happened, Elizabeth Warren was acting a fool, making bankers look silly. So she's had the bully pulpit for longer and done less with it. Bernie Sanders has done more with it, and he scares them more. And I want to see. I really want to go back and forth with y'all while we're doing this. I think Warren has the technocratic capacity to do a lot of things without the Senate, but she will be constrained in terms of legislation. I'm sorry, I'm really going to butcher this name. It's M. Vincnero Scrimenti. I am terribly screwing your name up. I am so sorry. But yeah, he says, I think Warren has the technocratic capacity to do a lot of things without the Senate, but she will be constrained in terms of legislation. That's correct. Yeah. But at the same time, we have to remember, like, the president's job isn't legislation. Sure, you got the bully pulpit to where you can force some legislation through, but this job is administration. And that being that the job is administration, which is a different part of the process, I firmly believe for that reason right there, Bernie's the better person for the job. And Elizabeth Warren would make a fantastic VP for that reason right there. Because the VP is in the Senate doing legislation. And let's keep it 1,000. Elizabeth Warren is policy bae. For real. Homegirl does have a plan for that. And that's like she does. I know a lot of y'all feel like she's super establishment. And I get it. I'm with you. But she's the perfect pick for VP for Bernie, outside of maybe Nina Turner. But like, Nina Turner's not, like, you would piss off everybody. Just for them being pissed off, I think I might like Nina Turner better than, yeah. Just to see folks pissed off. But realistically, I think that Elizabeth Warren is a fantastic strategic pick there, because having her in the Senate as the VP, putting pressure on these Republicans and seeing how things are working there, and having her be his eye in the Senate to make sure that the legislation he needs to get passed gets passed and gets passed the right way. I think for that reason alone, Elizabeth Warren would be the perfect VP pick. Because she's a monster at policy. She's more than proven that. Let's see. Somebody said Tulsi or Yang. I don't know. And somebody said, Steve Collins says, go to open and look up Warren as a corporate Democrat. Warren's not a corporate Democrat, y'all. I know we're really mad about some of y'all are really mad about 2016, and I was pissed off when she didn't go after Bernie. And yeah, in terms of her foreign policy, like, her foreign policy is not at all desirable to me. At all. But in terms of taking on the banks, in terms of standing up for poor and working people, in terms of standing up for workers, especially, and women, like, outside of Bernie Sanders and the new Justice Democrats in Congress, on the national level, I don't see too many people better than Warren. I honestly don't. Sure, she takes a bunch of money from a lot of them, and that is the problem. That is the problem. There are on OpenSecrets.com. There's some questionable donations there, but she has proven that she stands up for her. Just the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau alone, the way she fought for that, and mind you, the Republicans had a lot of power when she got that through, and that was her child, that was her baby, and she got that through. So I get it. I get how y'all feel, but I will take Warren. And let's keep it clear. Bernie is my first choice. Period. The best choice. End of discussion. There's no need to have anything else. However, if I have to have a second choice, I'm sorry, I'm taking Warren over Biden. Who you gonna take over Warren in this field? I'm sorry. Tulsi is a no for me. Her foreign policy to me is worse than Warren's. Sure, she's not for interventionist wars, but I feel like her foreign policy is worse than Warren's, and I know y'all about to tear me up in these comments. I'm waiting on it. Well, DID says Warren doesn't even have a Medicare for All plan. She does have a Medicare for All plan. She's not talking about it because she's trying to differentiate herself from Bernie. Her Medicare for All plan is specific and it's out there. It's just like she's trying to differentiate herself from Bernie. Her Medicare for All plan is the same thing as Bernie's, and that's Bernie's flagship. He's been fighting for that for 40 years. Why would she? You know what I mean? And let's keep it 100. I'm not trying to say she's better than Bernie. She's not. She's not in any way, shape, or form remotely close. She's not. Period. But she's the next best thing. It's like the debate with Jordan and everybody else in the NBA. Like, who you gonna take, Jordan or LeBron? Like, duh, I'm gonna take Jordan. But if Jordan's off the table, I'm taking LeBron. Yeah, he's the next best thing. And the next best thing after that is way down the list. They're that far ahead of everybody else. And it's sad. Like, Elizabeth Warren, realistically, because of how far to the right the American Overton window is, Elizabeth Warren should be a right-winger. She should be. And she was raised a Republican. She was a Republican for 47 years of her life. But the Overton window is so far to the right in this country that in Bernie Sanders, realistically, I love the guy, but let's keep it 100. He's a post office socialist. You know, he's not a real socialist. He's not. But shoot, I'll take it. I'll take a post office socialist over everything else. I will take Bernie Sanders fast, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Oh, thank you, Bert. Though these glasses are amazing. I love them. I have them in every color. I got them like in bulk. Somebody said, "Lol, Tulsi has no chance. Glad she's in the debates, but she should drop out and there's Bernie before the Iowa." Yeah, like I agree with you there. Tulsi has, like, let's go back to the poll here. Tulsi Gabbard is at 15 points plus, 15 net rating, and then 28 favorable, 13 unfavorable. She doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. She doesn't. No, it's not happening. But the same reason I want Elizabeth Warren to stay as long as she can, until she just is obliterated, is the same reason I would like Tulsi Gabbard to stay in the conversation, because she is farther to the left. She pulls the conversation left, and that's important. So Tulsi needs to stay in there as long as possible. No, she doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell. But let's look at the field. Let's go from the bottom. Wayne, whoever. I'm just going to call all these people that don't have a snowball's chance in hell Mike Jones, every centrist. Who? Mike Jones! Like, seriously, no chance in hell. Centrist. Mike Gravel, centrist. Marianne Williamson, no chance in hell. She's for Medicare for All, but I don't know. I'm going to call her a centrist. she does pull it a little further left than centrists. Like, if you look at this field and we go up the list, it's mostly centrists in this race. They stacked it with centrists. And we know the main reason for this. They know most of these people don't have a snowball's chance in hell. They're trying to make sure that it goes to a contested convention so that way them superdelegates have a say. Remember what Donna Brazile said, that they're still in charge of it. As soon as that superdelegate deal happened, remember her tweet? She told that they can't help but tell on themselves. They can't help but tell on themselves. They really, really, really want to make sure that they have control of it and they have a say. This is going to be a dogfight. And I want as many people, as many allies on the left as we can have. I want a leftist to win. Period. And some people might look at this stream and might be like, oh, he's a biased guy. Like, it's American politics. It affects you. You are biased. Everybody is. You can't not be biased in this. I would personally prefer for a leftist to win because I'm a leftist. As a journalist, I think that any of these people would be better than Trump. Like, even Marianne Williamson would be better than Trump. But give me a leftist all day, every day. Okay, Schultzy 100 says, I'd like to see a woman in the mix, but my main concern for today and for years now is climate. I'm for the first time considering Jay Inslee. Jay Inslee is another somebody that honestly to me doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell, but as a father of 3, yeah, no, I 100%, my main concern is also climate. By the time that 10-year warning comes, my oldest child will be like 14 or 15. By the time we get to that point, my oldest child, by the time we get to the critical mass point that the UN report came out with, my oldest child will be 14. Or maybe 15. And my youngest will be 11 or 10 or 11 or 12, something like that. So yeah, it's very serious. My kids won't even be adults by the time we reach the point. And by the time we reach the point when it's when we're feeling the real effects of that, I'll be relying, like when the 2050 date comes, and that's when the real changes are supposed to come. I'm going to be reliant on them. So I am really, really, not only for my well-being, but the well-being of my children, well-being of my grandchildren, I am incredibly worried about the climate. That is the most important thing that we all should be worried about. That it's ridiculous that they won't do a climate debate. But we've been dissecting these polls. I want to move through here, and I want to show you why. A lot of y'all have been wondering, why is Bernie so low in these polls? What's going on here? So we look at these numbers, like Biden's high, Warren's picking up all types of speed. What's going on? How is this possible? How is Bernie? He had a million volunteers in the first day. Let's look at who they polled. Now, if you look, what's highlighted here, 18 to 49. Do you see that number? 113. And then, so 2/3 of the poll was over 50. Now, let's be fair. They weight it. It's weighted. So they play with the numbers to adjust it back a little bit, but we know this is not. I'm sorry, they're political scientists and they're polling scientists. So they have ideas about like what's going on, but come on. It's the same thing again. Like somebody says, I want to see what y'all's reaction to this is. Somebody says Warren is working with town halls and proposals coming fast. Yes, Warren is policy bad, for real. Dividing our forces and resources will lead to a corporate hack. Yes and no. I agree with you there, and I don't. Where I agree with you on that is I agree with you that if we're dividing our forces, as far as the left, then yes, we're in trouble and the centrists will pounce. However, if we have 3 or 4 leftists on that stage that are for Medicare for all, and 3 or 4 centrists that are on that stage that aren't for Medicare for all, or for some kind of wishy-washy Medicare for all, it makes them look stupid. It makes them look silly. And if it's just Bernie Sanders up there saying that, how'd that look? He gonna be the only one? He gonna be the only one talking about that? I'm sorry, y'all. Like, it's just that it don't. To us, it looks that way. It's like Bernie's the best. Yes, clear. To us, to leftists. However, you got to sell people that are low information voters that don't really care about policy like that. They just know what affects their day-to-day life. And you have to make folks look silly. And if it's just Bernie saying that, it looks pie in the sky. But if you got 4, 5, 6 candidates, 10 candidates saying that, it looks doable. And remember, a lot of these folks signed on to Medicare for all when Bernie did the proposal back in 2018 when he submitted in the Senate. And a lot of these folks co-sponsored, and they already on some wishy-washy stuff. When these debates come, when Miami come, speaking of which, become a member. We're at 460. Become a member. Jordan and Ty really want to get out to Miami to those first debates. Become a member so they can get out there. That costs money. It costs money to get out there. We want to be there to cover it. We want to get the press credentials and whatnot. We want to be there for you and on the ground. Remember when Jordan Sheridan got down a Brazil tail? He was there and he had funding to get there. We can't do that without you guys being members. So please become a member. We're at 460 members currently. And that's on our goal to 500. I don't know. Who's in the... okay, Jen, what do you think? I'm going to propose a bet. I think... Yeah, me and Jordan going to have to do a bet. I want to do a bet. One of us is going to have to, on the live stream, do a certain amount of push-ups if we can figure out who, when we get to a member. We'll just have to get a pot going between all of us, me, you, Ty, Jordan, and just figure out. We'll all pick a day, like by X day. If we get to 500, somebody's doing some push-ups. Lord knows I need to do push-ups, period. Oh, Jordan can't do push-ups, huh? His back all messed up. He can't even bend down. I'll do Jordan's push-ups for him. But beside the point. Yeah, we really need to get there to cover these events. We want to get there to cover them. So become a member. Low is $5 to $10 a month. That's 2 number 3s, dog. This food for thought costs the same as 2 number 3s. You can do that. And we appreciate you to those that do. And if you can't, some people can't. We understand everybody can't do that. So those that can't, we just share the stream, and we appreciate that. So yeah, they're not polling young people, they're not polling millennials, and I find it really funny because on the one hand, every time we hear this rhetoric about Bernie Sanders is the problem, and my dad was just in town, And me and him kind of got into it. We normally don't talk about politics for that reason, because when we do, it's rawr. But yeah, like, the rhetoric is that millennials are at fault for Donald Trump getting into office. Millennials and white women. White women is just factual. I'm sorry. That's just what that is. But millennials are at fault because they say because 55% of them turned out for Hillary. I'm sorry. 55% of millennials turned out for Hillary. And they're saying, well, 60% of millennials voted for Obama. What? She got 55% of millennials. Anything she didn't get was her fault. You need to sell better. No. Be a better salesman. The presidential election is a job interview. And they blame millennials a lot. So the establishment really does not want to hear what millennials have to say. And they know. And they know when they come on social media. That's why they call us Bernie bros and trolls and this, that, and the other. They are shook of you. Remember, the Koch brothers is deciding they gonna put money into Democrats again. They're giving money to centrist Democrats. The DCCC is fighting hard. All of these polls. This is not just that poll. Let's go to the Quinnipiac poll. I'm going to transition to the next one. Now, the Quinnipiac poll is coming, showing Biden is ahead of President Trump, 53 to 40%. Bernie Sanders is ahead of President Trump, 51 to 42%. Now, if you look in the top left at the blue writing there, it says sample, methodology, and detail. So if we go here, I went to the methodology and detail, and I took a screenshot. Now, if you notice, in the top right corner, I searched for age. There were 3 things. It was all percentage. It was the end of percentage. And then there was an age list, but it doesn't have the list. And then what's highlighted is surveys are conducted in English or Spanish, dependent on respondent performance with live interviews, calling, landlines, and cell phones. Now, millennials, you lucky you get us to answer the phone, period. You lucky you get us to answer the phone, period. Especially you a number we don't know. Boy, stop. You better leave me a voicemail. And the scam likely numbers that come up, I've noticed a couple of them have been political organizations. So they're not polling us. We're not in these polls. We're not represented properly in these polls. They're calling landlines. Nobody got no landline no more. What are you doing? They polling older folks because they're likely voters. Nah, bruh. We vote too. Millennials turned out more than any other young generation in forever in 2018. What are you talking about? Millennials are kicking butt. Millennials are the large portion of a volunteer army. 1 million of them. 1 million. Ryan Grimm's new book is based off of the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez quote. And I'm starting to get through that, and it's a really great book. But I want to quote the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez quote. Also, I wanted to shout out his book. But we got people. You go ahead. You got money. You got corporate media. You go ahead. We got people. And these people got cell phones. So I want y'all to remember this. Because it's going to happen. It's going to be some nonsense again. This primary. We can bank on it. Remember the DNC lawsuit that said that they can basically pick anybody they want. They can do that. That's what they can do. And there's nothing we can do about it. Well, That's fine. If they force a centrist down our throat and we end up with Trump again, because Biden is the way to get Trump again, and they're clearly trying to shove Biden down our throat, and we end up having to choose again between racist and diet racist, Nazis are energized. The Democratic Party can't win without people of color, and people of color are going to be like, meh. You go ahead. You go ahead with that, but just make sure what we got to do is document all of it. All of it. So that way, if they force a centrist down our throat, and that's what happens, and we get a centrist versus Trump, and we get 4 more years of Trump, you document the dog shit out of it. Cell phone every time at every polling station. That way we have as much to report on. This is why independent media is so important. This is why we need you guys to smash that like button, to share, to subscribe, to become a member. I want to get out there and I want to be at every one of these polling stations. I want to be at all of them. Let them pull some mess on my watch. Let them. Please pull some mess on my watch. Please do, because I'm going to be right there with a camera. I'm going to be right there. And I'm going to act a fool. Let me explain something to y'all. So some of y'all might not know me like that, and like, that's fine. But the first thing I ever covered as an independent journalist in life was in 2017. And I was still in college, and Jordan had recently made a call out for an independent media company that he wanted to start, and I didn't have any like experience or anything. I wanted to put an application together, so I was looking for something to cover. I covered a protest of Tashi Brown farmers. Basically, Tashi Brown farmer got killed in front of the Venetian. They put this brother in a rear naked chokehold, killed him. Protest happens on the Strip, and they block the Strip. One tweet about it from one little piece of 3-sentence story from the AP. Blocked the Las Vegas Strip. One little piece of sentence from the AP. A guy in a MAGA hat attacked the protesters with a knife. He walked away free. No mention of him in the news. The protesters a ton of them got arrested, and the police PR woman comes out after most of the protesters are gone or arrested, and the news cameras are throwing up softball questions. And this was when, like, I had heard Jordan talk about local news being stenographers before that point, because I watched a lot of Jordan's work, and Jordan inspired me to do the kind of work I do. But seeing it firsthand, that mess made me mad. I tore that lady's tail up. All them reporters was mad at me. They were all mad at me. They was all looking at me like, this kid's actually trying. He's actually doing real. What are you doing? No, don't ask her that question. Oh, he's never going to get back again. He's not going to get access. I don't care about no access, bruh. That's not what I'm here for. What I'm here for is to make sure that the right stuff gets reported. Please let... all I'm saying, I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to put it real simple. If y'all get to the number that we need to get to where I'm able to go cover these primaries and I'm still with the company come primary time, they pull some mess on my watch. They gonna look real stupid messing with me, because I'm not the one. I am not the one. You thought Jordan Sheridan in front of Donna Brazile was bad. Boy, I will act the whole fool. I really will. I'll be calm about it, and I'll be respectful, but somebody gonna feel real stupid for thinking they can pull some mess over in front of me, because I don't play that. No, not at all. What Homie the Clown say? Homie don't play that. And then hit him with the sock. That's a reference to In Living Color. Let me go to some of y'all's comments, though. Let's see. I'm scrolling. I'm gonna pick one. Somebody I haven't read before. All right, Fluffy Bunny. I haven't read you before. According to Glegg Palace, in the 2016 primary, 750,000 no party preference ballots weren't counted in California. 3 out of every 4 votes were for Bernie. If counted, Bernie won California and the nomination. I mean, that's possible. I'd have to look into that and see some verification on it, but I really wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't at all. Tulsi Bernie 2020. Michael Trump Biden 2020. That's hilarious. Trump Biden 2020. Like, either way, you're getting a racist, man. You can get an institutional and an overt racist, or you can just get a plain old institutional racist. Which one you want? How you want to play it? What you want to do? Yeah, so I actually gotta get up out of here though, guys. But I really appreciate y'all. I want to get out here. I want to cover these stories. Friday, I'm gonna be at a Fight for 15 McDonald's worker strike. And then there's also the Las Vegas teacher strike. I'm working on a couple stories that I can't really talk about because I got to verify stuff. But we're getting out in this field, y'all. We're going to get out in this field. And that's what we do. In the field journalism. A lot of folks like to sit in front of this camera. I enjoy sitting in front of this camera, and I enjoy going back and forth with y'all in these comments. But I'm a bulldog. I like to get in the field, and I like to find this story. My whole brand of journalism is, hey, this is screwed up. Can we talk about this? That's great. Trump, Russia. Happy with it. That's fantastic. Great. Trump, Russia. You need to talk about that. You do that. But can we talk about this too? Can we talk about Flint? Flint ain't got clean water. Can we talk about that? No, we can't. We can't do that. Well, maybe we could talk about black men getting shot every 28 hours. Oh no, we can't talk about that either. Can we talk about these trans women that keep turning up dead? Trans women of color keep turning up dead? Oh no, we can't talk about that either. No, no. I want to talk about real stuff. I want to get out in the field, and I want to cover what really needs to be covered. I'd really like to do a poverty tour. That's something that I'm really working on too. I can even do that locally here in Vegas and just talk to folks that are struggling because half the country can't afford a $400 emergency. And they want to tell us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. Boy, I tell you. But let me go on. I got a lot I want to say. I really want to say a lot more, and I really want to stay with y'all. But I have 3 kids I got to get home to, and I am also a stay-at-home dad and a homemaker. So yeah, screw your gender roles. Okay, bye. Don't forget to become a member. Smash that like button.